I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Cleveland Browns just detonated a bomb that's shaking the entire NFL. Moments ago, the team pulled off one of the most stunning midseason moves we've seen in years. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, you heard that right, to a division rival. Now on paper, it looks like a simple transaction. Another late-round pick swap. Nothing to see here, right? But anyone who's been paying attention knows this is far deeper than football. This isn't about depth charts or draft compensation. This is about power, pressure, and pride. For months, Cleveland's been boiling under the surface, a franchise torn apart by a full-blown quarterback civil war. Ever since Shedeur Sanders arrived, the tension has been growing. The veterans felt it. The fans demanded it. The ownership pushed for it. And today, that pressure finally exploded.
Tired of boring phone cases? Here's your chance. My Etsy shop is packed with exclusive designs that let you show off your team pride in style. And the best part, you'll unlock discounts when you hit favorite, more savings when you add to cart, and even surprise discounts on your second purchase. Don't wait. Click the link in the description and grab your favorite now.
Reports say the trade was finalized early this morning after an emergency executive meeting inside the Browns facility. Cleveland sends Joe Flacco and a conditional 7th-rounder to the Bengals. In return, a 2026 6th-round pick and future considerations. Basically nothing. One league executive even texted they gave him away. But here's the truth. The picks don't matter. The numbers don't matter. What matters is why this happened. This wasn't just a trade. This was an organizational surrender. Jimmy Haslam, the Browns' owner, had been demanding Shedeur Sanders take the reins for weeks. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, resisted. He wanted to stick with the veteran, to follow his developmental plan, to protect the locker room chemistry. But Haslam wasn't hearing it anymore. Today, Haslam won. Stefanski's resistance finally cracked. Flacco's time in Cleveland is over just like that. Don't get it twisted. This wasn't some spontaneous decision. This was the climax of weeks of internal warfare. Ever since Shedeur Sanders was drafted in the 5th round, the spotlight's been blinding. The kid arrived with massive hype, Deion Sanders' son, a college superstar, a born leader. And right behind him stood Joe Flacco, the steady veteran, the voice of experience, the human shield for an organization terrified of another failed quarterback experiment. Flacco gave them cover. Every rep he took in practice bought the coaching staff more time. Every game he started delayed the inevitable. But every single one of those decisions came with a price: fan outrage, media backlash, and growing unrest inside that locker room. By mid-season, it became impossible to ignore. Every Stefanski press conference turned into a battlefield. Fans wanted change. The city demanded it. And today, that resistance finally shattered. Let's talk about the immediate fallout, because this goes way beyond a quarterback swap. First, the locker room. Insiders say it's split down the middle. Some of the offensive linemen actually feel relieved. Protecting a younger, more mobile quarterback like Shedeur is a completely different task than blocking for an aging pocket statue like Flacco. They've seen Shedeur in practice, the quick feet, the creativity, the ability to escape and extend plays. It's exciting. It's dangerous. It's unpredictable. But on the other side, there's concern. Veteran defenders are reportedly questioning whether this move was made to win football games or just to please ownership and social media. They're asking the hard questions. Is this about football or headlines? Then there's the fan base, and man, Cleveland fans are losing their minds. Twitter exploded. Reddit threads turned into full-blown celebrations. Facebook groups are declaring the Shedeur Sanders era. Instagram is flooded with edits of Shedeur in a Browns uniform, highlight reels blasting over Drake songs, motivational captions like "New Chapter, Same City." Local radio? Every caller is either calling it the rebirth of Cleveland football or the beginning of another heartbreak. And honestly, can you blame them for feeling both? These fans have lived through decades of quarterback misery. Bernie Kosar's departure, Tim Couch's injuries, Brady Quinn, Brandon Whedon, Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. The list reads like a Greek tragedy. They've been promised salvation before, but this time feels different. This time there's something fresh, something raw, about seeing Shedeur Sanders finally getting a shot before the season even ends. Now here's where it gets even crazier, the division implications. Because Joe Flacco isn't just leaving town. He's going to Cincinnati. Yes, that's Cincinnati. The Bengals, Cleveland's biggest rival. On the surface, he's there as a backup behind Joe Burrow. a steady hand, an insurance policy. But think about what else he's bringing with him: the Browns' entire offensive playbook. Flacco knows the protection calls, the audibles, the route concepts, the timing, everything. You don't think that matters when these teams meet again? Oh, it matters. Big time. One AFC North executive said it best. Haslam basically handed Cincinnati a free scouting report while proving how dysfunctional Cleveland really is. And honestly, he's not wrong. The optics are brutal. This isn't just a football move, it's a political one. Inside the building, the cracks are widening. Kevin Stefanski looks like a man caught in a storm he can't control. Sources close to the team say he's completely worn down by ownership interference. His developmental plan? Thrown out. His authority? Undermined. Now he's betting his entire coaching reputation on a rookie quarterback, Deion Sanders' son, walking into one of the most pressure-cooked situations in the NFL. And it's not just Stefanski. Even the coaching staff is reportedly divided. The offensive coordinator, all in on Shedeur, loves the energy, the big play potential, the star power. The defensive coordinator, not so much. He's worried this move destroys stability, that it sends a message no one's really in control anymore. Let's rewind and look at what Cleveland's actually losing. Joe Flacco wasn't elite anymore, that's obvious. His arm strength had faded, mobility was non-existent, but he brought something this franchise hasn't had in years: stability. He wasn't flashy, but he was steady. He managed games, avoided big mistakes. He was the adult in the room. And for a team that's been living in chaos, that mattered. That's what Stefanski loved about him: the predictability, the communication, the poise. Flacco was a known commodity. A professional's professional. Now the Browns are rolling the dice on raw talent, athleticism, and emotion. Shedeur Sanders, the new face of the franchise. You can't deny his talent. The arm strength, elite. The accuracy, laser sharp when he's in rhythm. The mobility, game-changing. He turns broken plays into highlights. He's fearless, dynamic, and carries himself like a star. But the questions are real. Can he read complex defenses? Can he handle the speed of NFL blitzes? Can he stay composed when the weight of a cursed franchise falls on his shoulders? Inside the building, they love his potential, but they know this is risky. This could either ignite a new era of Cleveland football or completely derail the season. To truly understand what's happening here, you have to look beyond the field at the personalities driving it. Joe Flacco represents the old guard, the veteran who's been to the mountaintop, who's earned respect through quiet professionalism. He's the kind of guy coaches trust. He reads defenses like a book, adjusts protections before the snap, commands the huddle. And he accepted his role: mentor, leader, safety net. That kind of maturity doesn't show up in stat sheets, but every player in that locker room knew what it meant. Shedeur Sanders? He's the new blood, the next-gen quarterback. Confident, electric, unafraid of the spotlight. He grew up around greatness. He's been trained for this moment since day one by his father, Deion Sanders, one of the most intense competitors in football history. So now, the Browns stand at a crossroads. They've traded away their steady hand for chaos and potential. They've chosen the storm over the calm. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what they need. Because this city's been playing it safe for decades. And safe has never worked. Shedeur Sanders now steps into the fire, carrying not just a football, but the weight of an entire franchise's hope. When you talk about Shedeur Sanders, you're not talking about a typical rookie quarterback. You're talking about the son of Deion Sanders, a man who redefined swagger, speed, and showmanship in football. Shedeur has lived in the game's orbit since childhood. He's been on the sidelines, in locker rooms, and under cameras his entire life. That gives him a rare advantage and an enormous burden. He didn't enter the league as a prospect. He arrived as a phenomenon. Cameras follow him, brands line up for him, and millions of fans hang on every post. He's already a star, but the NFL doesn't care about stars. It cares about performance. And that's where the real test begins. People can say what they want about him, that he's cocky, that he's privileged, that his confidence borders on arrogance. But what I see is a kid with nerves of steel. Most young quarterbacks drown under pressure like this. Shedeur thrives in it. While the media storms around him, he stays focused, calm, calculated. That's what separates hype from reality. That's what makes him more than just a famous name. It makes him a legitimate NFL quarterback in the making. When you compare him to Joe Flacco, the contrast is dramatic. Flacco represents the old guard, steady, experienced, methodical. He's not flashy, but he's dependable. He doesn't panic, doesn't improvise, just executes the plan. Shedeur is the opposite. He's fluid, explosive, improvisational. His release is lightning quick, his arm pure velocity. He turns broken plays into highlight reels and forces defenses to choose between covering deep or containing him on the move. Teammates say the same thing. Shedeur makes plays every week that make veterans shake their heads. He's got that it factor. But now comes the hard part. From here on out, every throw, every decision, every comment is under a microscope. That's what happens when the organization hands you the keys to the franchise before your first full start. And make no mistake, this move wasn't just a coaching decision. It was a power shift. Joe Flacco supporters will tell you the veteran got blindsided, traded mid-season to a division rival despite doing everything asked of him. Around the league, people are whispering that ownership, not the coaching staff, made this call. And in Cleveland, that changes everything. Kevin Stefanski has always been a methodical, steady leader. But this time, he was overruled. Jimmy Haslam wanted Shedeur. And once ownership starts making depth chart calls, the entire football structure starts to shake. Stefanski now finds himself coaching a quarterback he didn't plan to start yet, and betting his career on how this experiment plays out. Inside the locker room, the reaction's mixed. Some players are energized by the move, others are uneasy about losing stability. One lineman reportedly said, "We're excited for Shedeur, but it felt rushed." That's the tension you feel when a franchise starts chasing headlines instead of consistency. Meanwhile, the league's paying attention. Roger Goodell recently talked about the importance of young, marketable quarterbacks and star power, comments that felt perfectly timed. The NFL wants its next generation of faces, and Shedeur fits the bill: famous lineage, charisma, massive following. It's great for ratings, but it puts even more weight on a rookie's shoulders. And here's the thing, Cleveland isn't in a rebuilding phase. This is a roster built to win now. You got Myles Garrett leading a championship-caliber defense and a team positioned for a playoff run. But swapping a veteran for a rookie midseason? That's a massive gamble. And to make matters worse, they traded Flacco to Cincinnati, giving a division rival a veteran loaded with inside knowledge of your playbook. You can't make that up. Now, Kevin Stefanski's stuck in a no-win situation. If Shedeur shines, ownership gets the credit. If he struggles, Stefanski becomes the scapegoat. GM Andrew Berry faces the same dilemma, executing Haslam's wishes while trying to maintain credibility in the locker room. This isn't just about football. It's about power, hierarchy, and control. The defense, meanwhile, has done its job. They're elite, dominant, and tired of the chaos overshadowing their work. Myles Garrett reportedly told teammates, "We're holding our end, they need to handle theirs." That's the kind of frustration that can split a locker room in half. And while fans are ecstatic, flooding social media with playoff dreams and Super Bowl predictions, reality hasn't changed. Cleveland's history is littered with moments like this, hope turning into heartbreak. Still, this feels different. This feels like a crossroads. The national media's loving it. ESPN, FS1, NFL Network, every show's running the same headline: the Shedeur Sanders era begins. And that's exactly what the league wanted: star power, drama, storylines. Next Sunday, the Browns face the Baltimore Ravens on national television. Prime time, division rival, a city watching, a rookie under pressure, and a franchise gambling its identity. So the question isn't just, can Shedeur Sanders play? It's, can Cleveland handle what comes next? Can this organization function under its own spotlight without imploding from within? Because ready or not, this is the new reality. The Browns traded stability for excitement, experience for electricity, certainty for chaos. The Shedeur Sanders era isn't just beginning, it's exploding onto the scene. And whatever happens next, one thing's for sure, it's going to change this franchise forever.